Everyone, it's Matt from Surf City TCG, here with a guide update for your favorite commander and mine, GLARB, Calamity's Augur. So we just got Tarkir, Dragonstorm, brand new cards, brand new commander decks, and fortunately for GLARB, one of the new commander decks is Sultai, and actually has a lot of similar themes to the ones that we're running in this deck. So what I wanted to do is spend some time showing you guys how I look through cards from a new set to find potential additions and what I might cut just to test some of the new cards. So even though some of the cards we'll find aren't necessarily the best or likely to make the cut long term, I do like to test them when they come out, because sometimes a card can surprise you and just end up working out a lot better than you might expect. So I want to give the benefit of the doubt to some new cards and run them in the deck for a few runs and see how things go. So in order to find the cards from the newest set, what I like to do is use the Scryfall advanced search. So I'm going to go ahead. I know the set codes for Tarkir Dragonstorm are TDM for the main set and TDC for the commander set. If you didn't know that, you can Google it. But then we're going to use set. So we're going to say set TDM or set TDC. But we're actually going to need to modify this, so let me show you why. So I'm going to do a search right now, and I already have my Mox field to order by EDH rec automatically. If you haven't checked out my video, my deck building guide on how to build a deck completely from scratch, I talk about a lot of these concepts, and I teach how to learn the basics of these things, so I highly recommend you check that out. I'll link it in the description below. And while I'm talking about side notes, please like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already. Join my Discord. We have a very active community. I play games with, my viewers and my Discord members all the time. It's just a really good group. And please consider supporting me on Patreon. I just started up Patreon. I'm trying to save up some money so that I can quit my day job and open my own LGS. So that's my dream. Help me get there. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon. Like I said, I don't have to add this order EDH rec because I have my searching defaulting to that, so I'm just going to skip it. But then I'm going to see that we're getting results that aren't just from this set, because these cards are in the commander decks, right? And there are maybe some reprints in the main set or in the commander decks. So in order to account for that, we could just ignore them all, right? We could do one better and say there's a search string on Scryfall called is. There's a variety of things here. You could say like it is a commander, but the one we're going to use is reprint. But we don't want to see cards that are reprints. We want to see cards that aren't reprints. So we're going to say minus is reprint. And now it's going to remove any cards except for new cards. So in this way, we're going to see every single new card from Tarkir Dragonstorm or from Tarkir Dragonstorm commander decks. So I'm not going to look through all 151 of these cards. What I want to do for GLARB is I've been trying really hard to keep the deck strictly to mana value 4 and greater spells. I do have a very small number of exceptions. I think I have 5 or less spells that are under 5. What I'm going to do is just glance at the top few of these, and then I'm going to look at just lands, and then I'm going to finally end with just mana values 4 or greater and see what we potentially want to add. And what I'm going to do is just put everything I'm considering in the sideboard, and then we'll go back to the main deck list and consider what we're actually going to swap into the deck. So Mistrized Village, it's funny, I actually hadn't realized that and when I saw this card initially, obviously this card's incredibly good. Just let me start off by saying that. And when I saw it initially, I thought like, okay, well, it has to go in a teamer deck. But actually doesn't. It can go in a mono blue deck. I'm not suggesting that you run it in a mono blue deck, but the way a commander color identity works is it looks for the mana symbols in the text box. So in this case, it's only got blue mana symbols. So even though it references the word mountain and forest, you can still play it just like a fetch land, right? You can play a Wooded Foothills in a mono red deck because it says it searches for mountain or forest. It doesn't have any mana symbols in the fetch land whatsoever. In fact, you can play completely off-color fetch lands in your mono red deck. Like I could put a Marsh Flats in my mono red deck. I'm not suggesting you do that. I don't think it's a good idea because you'll not have any legal targets you can find. But you could if you wanted to. This is also the same reason you're technically allowed to play both Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, and Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth in non-green and non-black decks. Again, probably not a good idea, but maybe occasionally, if you're running a ton of lands that don't actually tap for mana and you want to be able to have them tap for mana, it could be worth it. Just something interesting to note. So anyway, long story short, a Mysterized Village is even better than I thought. We can play it in any deck that has mountains or forests. Like, we could play it in mono blue if we really, really wanted this effect, but it would never come in untapped, right? Because we could never have a mountain or forest in most cases. But in a deck like GLARB, it's perfect because we're very often going to have a forest, so it's going to enter untapped. So this is definitely one I want to include in the deck. So I'm going to put this in the sideboard for sure. And then I'm actually going to just look at mana value less than 4 at first. And I'm going to just glance at the top, like 10 or so, and not go too deep into the list just to see if there's anything stand out that I might want to include. And it really has to be a standout for me to play it. I don't think this is the best way to build GLARB. This is just the way I've chosen to build GLARB because GLARB's really good already, and I like to lean into the restriction. But I do want to take a look at the cards that are under 4, just to make sure that there's not anything so incredibly good that we want to run it anyway. And it would have to be on the level of something like Exploration, which is a card that I'm currently running. All right, T-Vol's Judgment. Cards leave our graveyard, we can do stuff. We're not really having cards leave our graveyard that easily, so we're going to skip over this one. This land really impacts dragon decks. We're not a dragon deck, so we're going to skip that. Again, caring about cards leaving our graveyard, so don't care about that. Nature's Rhythm. So this is one I would consider, although I think this is worse than both Finale of Devastation and Invasion of Ikoria. I'm currently running Finale of Devastation. I'm not currently running Invasion of Ikoria, but I would prefer to run Invasion over this in this deck. Nature's Rhythm could be better in a big butts like creature deck or just a big stompy deck, but that's not us. So we're going to skip that one. This card, no. All right, Fotis gives our creatures. So this is kind of like a Kennerud. I don't think we need this. It's not like so good that it's a good card, but it's not so good that I want to break our under mana value 4 rule. So I've seen enough. I don't care about any of these cards enough. So I'm just going to flip over to mana value greater than 3. Actually, tell you what, let's just look at lands first. I'm going to make sure that we're not missing any great lands that might be a good choice for this deck. So there are the other 2 in this cycle. So this one surveils. It's on color. This is a good card for this deck. My land spots are so tight that, I'm not even running Command Tower right now, just to give you an idea of how tight I feel like the land spots are in GLARB. So although this is an excellent card and it gives us some redundancy with what GLARB does, I'm not going to run it because I have very tight lands. If you don't own the dual lands or you don't have all the fetch lands, you're not running the expensive mana base that I'm running, you should probably play this card. It seems quite good in this deck. So I'm going to put it in considering just so others can see it there, but I'm not going to play it. The only way I would play this is if I added 4 or 5 lands, which I've actually been considering doing. I'm playing 40 right now. I'm probably going to go up to 41 with the addition of this Mysterized Village because there's nothing I really want to cut. And honestly, adding more lands to this deck is just good. We really want lands. We want to hit lands off the top, and we usually have plenty of other stuff to do. All right, Greater Russian City. This card is not good enough. Okay. So we've skipped lands. So now I'm going to take out lands. Well, actually, we won't see lands anyway by nature of just looking for mana value greater than 3. All right, so these are the ones we really want to look carefully at and there's not that many. Well, 64, kind of a lot. But, once we get down to here, it's going to start being maybe junky cards. So once we start seeing a bunch of real junkers, then we'll skip. And just to remind everyone, we have a sort on EDH Rec right now. What this means is it's going to order stuff by what is most popular in EDH rec first. So of all of the cards that meet these conditions, Colossal Grave Reaver is the one that appears most often in EDH rec deck lists right now. EDH rec is a data aggregator that just scrapes deck lists from all over the internet. So that doesn't necessarily mean that these are going to be the best cards for us, but it's typically going to be correlated, if that makes sense. All right, so the Grave Reaver, this card is great. It's really strong in a deck like Winter, the Precon Winter, Cynical Opportunist. As an 8-mana creature for us, we don't care that much about milling. Milling's fine, but like, I just want to play for value off the top, and running into an 8-mana creature on the top, of course, we could surveil it to the graveyard, but I don't want that to be the default play. You know, we're not strictly a reanimator deck from your library. So if we surveil them, if we have this in play, which is a big if, like, you know, I don't want to discount the difficulty of getting this in play and keeping it. It has no protection. It's 8 mana and it has no way to discount itself. Like, yes, we can reanimate it, but, you know, this card is, to me, like a lot closer to a win more card than a card that I want to play in my GLARB deck. That all being said, if we get it in play and GLARB remains in play, it is pretty good because we can surveil creatures to the graveyard and reanimate them instantly. Now, is that combo worth it? I don't think so. In case you didn't already expect me to say that based on everything I've said up until this point, I just don't think this wins us any games that we weren't already winning, and that's my problem with it. I do quite like this card in other decks. This is just not the deck for it. I think in a Reanimator heavy, the Wise Mothman deck, this card's great. In Winter Cynical Opportunist, phenomenal. Any deck where you're like cheating in stuff from your graveyard like frequently and also milling or surveilling, like this is going to be a huge home run for you. So I'm going to put in considering because it is a like strong consideration if we were to ever rebuild this deck and make it more like mill/reanimation focused, but the way I have it currently, it's not going to make the cut. T-Vol's in. I love it. T-Vol is just another copy of Blossoming Tortoise. It's probably mostly better. It's a little bit more difficult to cast, but it has flying, which is huge because it can have safer attacks more often. Sometimes you've got the tortoise out and everyone has a 4/4 or larger, and it's kind of hard to get through with it. You might have to make a politics deal with someone or something, but T-Vol is going to have that problem a lot less often, and it's going to make you a 2/2 every time you bring back a land, you know, plus other times as well. So this is huge. In fact, to be honest, like I think any deck that can fit this card, like if you're playing Sultai, like this is a slam dunk. Just put this in your deck and you're going to win more games. Same goes with Blossoming Tortoise. That's a card that like slides onto the radar for people a lot of times, and I would say it's responsible for me winning more games. Like it is the direct reason I have won more games than a lot of other cards, because it just sits there and it accrues value to accrues value to accrues value. All of a sudden you have twice as many lands as everyone and they're like, what happened? You're like, well, it's just this like harmless little turtle that was sitting here all along. So to have a whole nother copy of it with upside that it makes these 2/2s and it's flying and it's bigger, just very, very good. I do like the ability of the turtle to reduce the activated abilities of lands by 1. That is not an irrelevant ability. The other ability that like makes your land creatures bigger, that's mostly irrelevant. But you know, I play both these cards 100%. This is going to be in my GLARB build for the near future, if not forever. Okay, we're only running 1 basic, so this is not happening. Will of the Sultai. Sorcery, a bit of a bummer, but we do have a lot of ways to gain flash in this deck, so sorceries are strong considerations. Okay, target player mills all 3, return all lands. So we're already running Lumra that does this. It wouldn't be bad to have another effect like this. The other ability, put a bunch of +1 counters, and it gains trample. Like, a lot of times mid-late game, we've got more than 10 lands in play, so making GLARB a 2-shot, like, lethal threat with commander damage is not that crazy, but I would say in general, this second ability is not going to help us that much, and therefore I'm not as interested in this card, because even if we get both modes, yeah, the first one's great, but if I wanted the first one, like more effects like that, I could just play Splendid Reclamation, which is 1 mana less, and 1 mana less in this deck is a huge deal, like a 4 over a 5. Like, a lot of times you just only have mana for the 4, or we have 8 mana, we can cast 2 4s, you know? This is why I'm so heavy on 4 drops, because it is the, like, critical mana value for this deck. So I think this could work in some GLARB builds, but it's not for me. Alright, 7 mana, 5/7 flying. We're not really playing a lot of dragons. I should probably check, like, how many dragons we're running exactly. Okay, so I'm back to the regular deck list. Let's sort by subtype, see how many dragons we have. We have 1 dragon currently, and we're going to have 2 once we add T-Vol. Okay, so we don't care about dragon synergy, long story short. That being said, what does it do? We could cheat in permanents from our hand. Yeah, we don't care about that. All right, so this card I already know I want. This card's insane, but let's go through it, because one step at a time, not everyone's seen this card. Afterlife from the Loam. So obviously a play on Life from the Loam, the green sorcery from original Ravnica, which also a wonderful card. 8 mana for sorcery. Whoa, okay, what does it do? It's got Delve. Can we Delve in this deck? We can Delve in this deck. Delve is great for GLARB. Alright, so we could cast this for potentially 3 black if we Delve 5 cards out of our graveyard. And then what does it do? For each player, including us, choose up to 1 creature in that player's graveyard, and you reanimate them all. They all become zombies in addition to the other types. Wow. Okay, so it's like a sepulchral primordial, except it also reanimates something from our graveyard. Like, it's not so easy to get a hit from every single person's graveyard, but for 3 mana and, like, exiling 5 cards from our graveyard, which is very easy to do, even reanimating 2 targets is very good. This card is phenomenal. If we're able to cast it at instant speed, which we will be able to do, a decent amount of time, it just a huge blowout. You've flash in basically some surprise blockers out of someone's graveyard, or God forbid, like, someone else is trying to reanimate, like they cast an Animate Dead or reanimate on something in their graveyard, and you just snipe it out from under them with a flash speed Afterlife from the Loam. That's a 4 for 1 that just wins you games. So 100% I'm playing this card. I've already purchased like 6 personal copies of this card for myself. That's how much I like it. Within range, we make 2 tokens. So anything that makes tokens I want to consider, because this is a token deck that cares about tokens energy, but these tokens suck. When we attack, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures attacking them. So this is actually not terrible in this deck. We're often making tons of zombies with Field of the Dead. Any of you who've been like regular viewers of my GLARB videos know that oftentimes I have 3 digits of zombies tokens in play. So this could very easily just win the game in that case, but so can a lot of cards, and so can just attacking with 100 2/2 zombies. So we definitely don't need this to, it's not going to win us games we weren't already winning. And forgive me if I sound like a broken record, but that is a really important point. You should consider, not what does this card do in the best case scenario for the card, but what does this card do in the worst case scenario? Like, how happy are you to see this off the top when you're desperate for an answer? And the answer to that question is not happy at all. This card sucks. It doesn't suck. It's, just to be clear, it's great in some decks, but just not this deck. All right, this card's very interesting. Steward of the Harvest is 4 mana for a 3/3 human druid. So when it enters, we exile up to 3 lands from our own graveyard. Okay, we often have lands in our graveyard. We're playing 9 fetch lands. We're surveilling lands to the graveyard all the time. We have some effects that mill. So it's easy for us to get lands in the graveyard. And then all of our creatures have all activated abilities of lands we exile with this. So what kind of lands have activated abilities that we are running? So I'm not currently playing Cabal Coffers and Urborg, not because they're not great, but because I find them to be a little bit too easy mode, and the games all just lead to me finding Coffers Urborg and winning with some big mana over everyone. So I'm choosing to intentionally handicap myself by not running those. But let's look at the lands we are running that have activated abilities and see how this might play with those things. So let's go to type, and let's just look through the lands that matter. So this has an activated ability, but giving it to all of our creatures is not relevant, so we'll skip that. Fetch lands. These are activated abilities, right? So giving all of our zombies, like if we have Field of the Dead in play, which is when this is going to matter, giving all of our zombies a fetch land activation is nice, but we don't have that many fetchable targets. In fact, I often run out of targets even without this synergy, so I don't think this is particularly worth it. Channel doesn't work. It has to be in our hand. I think this technically is an activated ability, but we don't meet the conditions to be able to do that. Okay, the Castle Garenbrig's an interesting one. By the way, like tapping for mana is an activated ability too. So automatically your creatures tap for mana with this, right? Because let me just double check and make sure that's true. Creatures have all activated abilities of lands. Yeah, so like if you exile a forest, then your creatures can all tap for green. Okay? They do have summoning sickness, though. So just like with a Dryad Arbor, you can't tap it for mana the turn you play it. Now, that being said, if your zombies were already in play and you play Steward of the Harvest, any that were already in play don't have summoning sickness and can tap for mana right now. So that is the base case scenario. All right, exiling a bounce land is very strong, right? It gives all of our zombies the ability to tap for 2 mana. Okay, same goes with Temple of the False God. Also, the Urza's singular Urza's Tower I'm running, which, in case you were confused, is a combo with the Planar Nexus, which counts as all of the Tron lands. So then our Urza's Tower taps for 3. The Planar Nexus still taps for just 1, but it counts as all of the Tron lands so that our tower is online immediately. And the reason I'm running this weird synergy is because I'm trying to find other alternatives to Cabal Coffers and Urborg. And also I have a cave package. And I talk about this in my last GLARB video, so check that out if you want to learn more. But I have a cave package with Cosmium Confluence. So this lets us find 3 caves. Planar Nexus counts as a cave, so we can fetch this up with the Cosmium Confluence. All right, so we're looking at other activations. The Castle Garenbrig's interesting. It only helps with creatures, but, it can do some stuff. Horizon of Progress turns all of our mana dorks into 1 mana draw a card, which is pretty nice. That's actually one of the better ones, I would say. Minamo's nuts. Pretty easy to get close to infinite mana if you exile Minamo and you have a few zombies and something like 3 Tree City. So if we have let's say 10 zombies, then our 3 Tree City taps for 10, right? And then every zombie, we can pay 1 blue, tap the zombie to untap 3 Tree City, and make another 10. So basically we're netting 8 or 9 mana every time for every zombie, assuming we have 10. So yeah, that gets out of hand really fast. Maze of Ith is hilarious if you exile it with the steward. Um, there's a lot of fun stuff here. Shifting Woodland is okay. It's not like amazing to have a ton of Shifting Woodlands because it's a little expensive to activate them all. Plus, you can already do tricks with Shifting Woodland by like activating it, having it become a copy of something, holding priority, having it becoming a copy of something else, and then like doing stuff when it turns into one permanent and then doing some other stuff when it turns into the other permanent. So sometimes you don't need two of them. You can just do a trick like that. But it would come in handy sometimes. It's hard to consider all the possibilities of this, but that's why I love this card because it opens so many doors. Sunken Citadel, fine, whatever. This card, Sunken Palace, we're not really going to have enough fodder in our graveyard to make this that useful. This is also like caring about delving cards out of the graveyard, so the fact that we're adding the Afterlife from the Loam too is going to put a little bit of pressure on the cards in our graveyard as fuel. In fact, given that we're almost certainly going to cut Titan's Nest, which cares about delving cards away for mana, since we're adding stuff to have similar effects, and it's going to put some pressure on the amount of cards we have in our graveyard to actually fuel all of this. Urza's Cave's interesting, but yeah, I think we covered most of the big stuff. So, this Steward of the Harvest, this is the exact kind of card that I think will not end up making the cut in the deck. However, I do want to test it because it's again, the kind of card that can surprise you. So this is a card that I want to force until I draw it at least a couple times and see how it actually plays out in a real game. All right, Ugin Eye of Storms. So on cast, we get to exile a permanent that's one or more colors. And then when we cast colorless spells, we get to do it again. We are not running almost any colorless spells, so that's a huge red mark against this card already. The abilities, gain 3 life, draw a card. We don't care about drawing cards that much because GLARB. GLARB means our whole deck is our hand, so why draw? It's not quite that simple, but sometimes it is. 0 to add 3 colorless, meh. And then search for a bunch of colorless cards. Okay, so this is obviously not the right deck for this card. This is a really good card, but just not for this. Okay, Hammerhead Tyrant. On casting a spell, we can bounce a non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to that spell's mana value. Okay, so this is a little bit more fair version of Hullbreaker Horror. I'm not in the market for a fairer Hullbreaker Horror, so sorry, Hammerhead Tyrant. We're not even playing Hullbreaker Horror. Now, we could be. It's insanely good in this deck, but it's on my list of easy mode. I don't want to play it cards. Welcome the Dead. Welcome. Draw 2 cards, discard, you lose 2, create some zombies. Meh. Will of the Teamer. So we get both. Create a token. I'm listening. Copy of target permanent, except it's a 4/4 dragon with flying. Okay, so it's like an astral dragon, but you only get one. And it can copy any permanent. I think astral dragon is non-creature. Okay, target player draws. What are they? The problem with, all these wheel cards I've seen so far is like they tack on these second things that I don't really care that much about. I mean, I'm not telling you that it's bad to draw cards in this deck. It's not. But we just don't need that. And like for 6 mana sorcery, I don't think this is where we want to be. I ended up cutting Season of Blue, whatever that card's called. I think it's called Season of Blue. I'm just kidding. And that's better than this. So, sorry, Will of the Teamer. Will of the Abzan. Choose one. Just kidding. Don't choose one. Choose 2. Any number of target opponents each sack a creature. Okay, so it's like a Soul Shatter. And they lose 3 life. Nice. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Heck yeah. Finally, one we want both sides of. Definitely going in the considering and probably going to make the cut. Good card. Especially if we can cast it at instant speed. That's going to be the crux of how good this is. But, you know, even at sorcery speed, this is quite good. All right, this thing, +1 counters. So everything gets, on upkeep, everything gets counters equal to its toughness. So all of our zombies double in power every turn. That's good, but we don't need it. Next. This card's really good in the Toughness Matters deck, but not for us. Nope. Basics, nope. Become the Avalanche. Draw a card for each creature with power 4 or greater. Nope. Good card, though. Decent card. Mill 4. Cast an instant. On attack. Too bad it's not on ETB and attack. If it were, I might consider it, because then we can make a bunch of tokens of it and do shenanigans, but as is, we don't have haste, so probably not. When a creature enters difference, no, we don't have creatures with different power and toughness, really. Okay, we make a 1/3 wall. Defenders die, search for basics, nope. Leave in graveyard, don't care. This is like theft commander. Sweet commander, I might build it, but not for GLARB. Okay, when this enters, bounce 2 non-land permanents. 6 mana, 6/7. It's like a good card, but we don't need it. Okay. Flash counter. And then we can cast it. Probably not. Alright, T-Vol. The other T-Vol. 5 mana, 6/6 flying lifelink is nice. We often want some life gain in this deck, so that's some bonus points. Great stats for 5 mana. And then our spells have Delve. And then, you know, losing life equal to its mana value on cast, that's huge. We're often casting very high mana value spells, and the lifelink is not going to quite offset it enough. If not for that second ability, of course. I know, that's like, what is balancing this card? But it's overbalanced, and it's not going to cut it for me. Alright, drawing. Don't care. Don't care. So we're starting to get into non-rares. And that's the sign that we're like almost done. Although there is at least one card. It's right here. I guess I already had it in considering, but this is a card I definitely want to test. I love the idea of this card in GLARB because we can. So let's talk about what it does. It's a clone, 4 mana, 0/0. You know, comes in as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. So it's a universal clone, not just for our creatures. So that's big. And then the renew ability is what I really care about, which is 3, exile this from our graveyard, put a +1 counter on a non-legendary creature we control, and then every other creature we control becomes a copy of that until end of turn. So this means we could turn all of our zombies into Archon of Cruelties, and then, you know, do that thing. Alternatively, we could turn everything into a Massacre Worm and then kill one creature and they lose like 1,000 life. You know, other shenanigans like this. Alright, I skipped over this big sorcery. What does it do? 8 mana, destroy all creatures and enchantments, draw a card for each permanent destroyed this way. No. Not even. Alright, cares. This is a cool card. I want to put this in considering in the sideboard, but I don't think we're going to run it. But very cool card. Okay. 4 mana, 3/3. We can either gain 3, surveil 3. Not bad. Destroy an enchantment, not bad. Counter a creature. This is okay. Let's put in considering, but not in like the sideboard, which is our like really considering. I'm just skimming these now because I'm seeing like uncommons and stuff. Not that an uncommon couldn't be played, but I don't see any words that are jumping out at me. Milling, +1 counters, meh. Turtle, tribal, lol. Return 2 permanents. No. It's like draft chaff. Okay, so we're done. So let's go back to the deck. I think we only have 4 or 5 in sideboard. Oh, 6. Okay. Oh, one of them's land. Okay, but still, I don't want to necessarily cut a land, so I want to try to get all of these in. The exception might be, yeah, this card I don't care about playing, so let's get that out of there. Okay, so 5 cards we want to get in. I know that I want to get rid of Titan's Nest because of the reasons I already discussed, so let's move that out. What do these do that we could potentially replace? Because I'm pretty happy with how the deck is running right now, so the way I might do it at the moment is just replace a card that has a similar effect so that we're not like going too heavy on one particular effect, because I know the deck is working in a way that I'm happy with right now. So so that being said, let's switch to my types and tags. And we know that Afterlife from the Loam is, in fact, let's tag all of these. It's not going to show up yet, but I still am going to need to tag these. So let's say reanimation. This guy, already tagged it. This thing is, I mean, honestly, unique effect, right? Creatures have activated abilities of lands. I guess we can sort of count this as mana ramp. Yeah, and I suppose only from our graveyard, so we don't want to say graveyard hate. So just those tags look fine. T-Vol is mana ramp, of course, token maker, and self-mill. Lastly, Will of the Abzan. This one is removal, group slug, and reanimation. All right, so we're adding 2 reanimation spells, so we definitely want to make probably 1 cut there. Although I'm pretty light on reanimation already, I wouldn't terribly mind just going up 1. So I think I'll just cut 1, which will be Coiling Rebirth, even though I really like this card. I could see myself adding it back over the ones we're adding. But we just want to like do some quick cuts so we can do some testing. Make sense? So, kill your darlings, etc. Coiling Rebirth. You did nothing wrong. Okay, so we've cut 2 things so far. The Mistrise is just going to be cut for something else. I don't really want to cut a land, as I mentioned. Okay, this is, maybe we can cut some mana ramp for this. We'll take a look. Same with T-Vol. So potentially like 3 mana ramp things. I'm not sure. Let's just, I'm going to switch back. I guess let's look at the mana and ramp stuff we have and see if, like, we could cut Blossoming Tortoise, but like, I already know T-Vol's good. I don't need to test him. I just want to cut him or cut something so I could add him because he's definitely getting added, if that makes sense. Wilderness Reclamation, I guess. Potentially. Sure. It seems fine. Pier's Whim sometimes disappoints me too. Cut both of those. But I don't like to cut any cards that find any land we want. We really want kind of a critical mass of those. Same reason I don't want to cut Titania's Command. I also like the life gain on this, and the +1 counters can matter too. Let's cut the Pier's Whim, I guess. And then 1 more card. I think we can cut AC. I don't really care that much about AC. I just like it as the additional land drop. But it's often like a huge threat, and people don't know that it's like not that huge of a threat in this deck because I don't care that about the drawing cards part. So let's get him out. All right, so we've made the room. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I guess I'll do a little bit of mulligan practice because I think you guys like that. So let's see how it plays out with these changes. So I'm just going to bulk edit, cut all these out of the sideboard into the main deck. Okay, I'm going to update to preferred so I don't see all these weird versions like that AC, and I'll switch it back to cheapest at the end. Look at my preferred versus cheapest. Wait, what? That's it? That seems weird. All right, let's play a test. All right, so if you haven't done one of these practices with me before, I'd recommend what you do is pause the video, decide if you would keep this hand, and then see if it matches what I said. So pause the video. Ooh, this hand is so close. Like, the problem is that we can't play GLARB very easily at all. We have a colorless land, a Maze of Ith, which does nothing until we get Yavimaya, and then we have Bloodstained Mire, which can get us anything. The Lotus Cobra is great with the Bloodstained Mire, but we can't cast the Lotus Cobra without the Bloodstained Mire. We are running 41 lands, so the likelihood of drawing at least one land by turn 3, I think it's pretty safe. I just don't know if that makes this worth it. With the Tortoise, with the Culling Ritual, this just feels like such a strong hand. I think we take the risk on this one. If you said mulligan, that is fine. I think this is like a 50-50 call. Really, really close. Not sure about it. Honestly, I think I talked myself out of it. Let's mulligan. Let's go to our second 7. All right, second 7, pause it. Tell me, do you keep this hand? Yeah, I think this is a keep on second 7. We've got a fetch land into another fetch land, potentially. You can also play it untapped into Cobra. I think this hand gets there. It might be a little awkward, but assuming we draw another land in the first 3 turns, which is pretty likely, I think this hand's pretty good. So let's try it. So we'll draw for turn, and there you have it. See? Trust the deck. So what land do we play here is now the question. It's not necessarily the easiest decision. Maybe it is the easiest decision. I think we fetch a Surveil land and probably surveil any land to the graveyard, any land that's not another fetch land, if that is. Because I think another fetch land is great with the Lotus Cobra. So let's drop the Misty, let's crack it and we have blue, so let's get the other 2, which would be the green-black Surveil under something. Yes, Underground Mortuary. That'll enter, we'll Surveil. So we hit a land that isn't a fetch land. I think we put it in the graveyard. Because we've got plenty of land in hand. Plus, we've got the Echoing Deep, so we could have this enter as Mistrized Village should we end up needing it. But I think more than likely we're just going to want to copy a fetch land or have this enter untapped. All right, next turn. Yeah, I think here we just play Minamo and then slam Cobra. Cobra doesn't normally get removed right when you play it. I think it should, but it doesn't. That is to say, if you see someone play a Lotus Cobra turn 2, I would spend your swords on it. I think it is a worthy target. Just don't do it to me. Next turn. So, what's the play here? Before I tell you, I want you to think about this. It's not an easy decision, but I think there is one correct answer. All right, if you've thought about it and determined that you think the correct play is to play Echoing Deeps tapped, have it enter as a copy of Misty Rainforest, generate a green or black mana on the Cobra, and then play GLARB. I think this is objectively the best play because it leaves us with a fetch land to use next turn. We could shuffle away the top card if we don't like it. We get an extra mana off the Cobra, and then this hand is gas after that. I think we develop Fairy Artisans first, but so we've got a fetch. If we happen to draw another fetch, we could play Lumra next turn. This hand's insane. In fact, it might even be worth deking with GLARB. Let's look at the top. It's a Boseiju, so we could untap. Let's turn off our draw. Do we do that? Disable draw. Okay, so we go to our next turn. We're in our upkeep. GLARB no longer has Summoning Sickness, so we can tap him, Surveil 2. We could bin both of these in hopes of finding another fetch. So we look at the top. Okay, we draw that for turn. Look at the top again. Okay, so we got quote-unquote unlucky not to find a fetch. Just kidding. I don't know what the actual odds are, but it was definitely under 50%. But still, we can crack fetch land here, get an untapped land. Actually, we don't even need a fetch land to play Loomer, right? We crack the fetch. We get, say, a trop, right? It comes in. We make a mana on the Cobra. So let's say we make a green. And then we could play any land. What's on top? Not a land. So we'll play Alchemist Refuge. We'll make another green. And then we've got our 6. Play Lumra, mill 4. We hit 2 lands, which is great. And then let's just move all lands to hand, I guess. Oh my god, we have 6 lands. Enter. Yeah, so 6 lands enter tapped. But we get 6 more mana from the Cobra. Yeah, this hand's pretty good. All because of the new cards. Just kidding, that was a joke. Let's see another one. Alright, this is our opening 7. Pause the video, tell me, are you keeping this one? No, not good enough. We could do better. Alright, pause it. This is our second 7. Are you keeping this as a second 7? I guess. Like, it's only because of this. Like, extra land drops are so important in this deck. That's why we're running a card like this that is really not that good in GLARB, because, like, GLARB already does this, right? Like, it lets us play stuff off the top, so this is very much just redundant. But we really just want this for the first effect. You can play an extra land every turn, even though it's 4 mana. Like, 4 mana is what we want this to be. It's the reason I'm running this and not Azusa Lost Seeking. Although, I don't think that's necessarily the right decision. That's just how I'm choosing to play the deck, with a lot of 4 pluses and not a lot of less than 4s. But I may end up caving and adding Azusa back, because effects like this are just so critical for us. So I think, that being said, that this is better than going to 6, only because of this card. If we didn't have this, if this was pretty much anything else, I wouldn't keep this. I'd try to find something better. Like, you really want in your opening hand one of our under 4 mana spells, like Exploration, Nature's Lore, 3 Visits. Like, those are the big 3 that we want in our opener. But, if you don't have one of those, it's still okay. A hand like this can still get there. Or Lotus Cobra is the other one that you really just kind of want in your opener. Big game, as you saw last time. So let's play this one out. I think this is better than 6. All right, Finale's interesting. This makes me realize that I'm not running Dryad Arbor right now, and I probably should be, because we could cast this on 2 for X is 0 and find Dryad Arbor. I think that's a missed opportunity. So I think the plan is to open with the fetch, grab a Surveil land, and then play another fetch with the Echoing Deeps on second turn. So let's do that. So what land do we need? We have a Misty, so I think we want something black. So green-black looks like the ticket. Surveil. I'd say bin this. It's not gonna. This is a card you want to draw late game. Not gonna help us too much right now. All right. Next turn. All right, our plan hasn't changed. If we had the Dryad Arbor, I would get it right now with the Finale, but I don't. So we're gonna play the Echoing Deeps as a copy of Flooded Strand. It enters tapped, and then we'll go to our next turn. All right, here we have to crack both fetches in order to play GLARB, so we are going to do that. Crack. I'm just going to leave these in play. Play GLARB. I can peek at the top, but it probably doesn't matter. Next turn. And I think here we don't just play a land, we look at the top. Okay, it is a land, so let's make sure we don't have any reason. These are all colored lands, right? Because we crack fetches for them. So I think the 2 options are we develop Case first, or we develop T-Vol. And I think it's easy T-Vol. T-Vol's insane. The only reason I wouldn't play this is if I suspected people had removal, like not a lot of removal had been spent and people had open mana. I might hang back a turn on this because I'd rather have someone else play a removable threat. People start to get antsy if they're holding removal in hand too long, and they might just remove the first thing they see. So case by case, but either of these is going to lead to a win. I think this is a really strong start. So I didn't see any of the new cards, but we're going to play a game on Spelltable, so hopefully we get some action with the new stuff. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, join my Discord, and consider joining my Patreon. Thanks again. Enjoy the game. All right, I'm going to randomize this 3 times. Here goes. 1, 2, 3. Probably shouldn't.
I'll keep as well.
Go to 6. Yeah, it's a keep. I'm gonna put something on the bottom. All right, that's going on the bottom, and I'm ready.
Any pre-games?
I do have a pregame. Thank you for
Go
asking.
right ahead.
I'll put in a ley line of anticipation.
Hey, the fastest. If everyone's good luck, have fun. I'll start off.
Good luck, have fun.
Don't forget your commander, Matt.
Oh, thanks.
I'll play a forest, and I'll green sun right away for a Dryad Arbor. Go ahead.
Nice.
Shuffle it in.
Undergrowth Stadium. Tap it for a wild growth. Pass turn.
I shoveled in a freaking token. All right. All right.
That's a bad draw.
Worst draw in it.
At least it's not a food.
You're up, Matt.
Yep. Draw. Verdant Catacombs. Pass turn. I'm going to crack for a Surveil land.
Twah.
You guys will never find your way through my hedge maze.
I'll play Sage Who Endures and cast Miku. If that's Gucci, I will play Safe Haven, and then I'll play a Riveteer's Outlook, and then I'll pass. I'll gain a life, get a forest.
Yeah, it was a...
Wamping.
Keep that on top.
I'll play a Zagoth Triome. And tap 2 for Arcane Signet. Pass.
Forest into a Thought Vessel. Pass.
Draw. Underground Sea. I'm just going to do it now. I don't care. I'll flash out a We Want a Shrubbery. 3 visits. I'm going to find a shrubbery and pass.
Wonderful. Oh, sorry. Untap, draw. Ooh, that's pretty good. Crucible of Worlds. If that's Gucci, I'll just play Riveteer's Outlook 3 times and get 3 forests and pass.
Good. So, Arch Enemy?
I'm just vibing!
Oh, just vibing.
I'm just
I'm
vibing.
going to have 20 land in play on turn 3. It's fine.
You guys are going to be so underwhelmed with what I actually play.
Don't believe you.
I don't even have a Crater Hoof or anything. No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I'll surveil off the mortuary.
Drop a swamp.
Druid of Purification in the graveyard.
Tap 2 for a Ledger Shredder. Tap 2 more for a Fanatic of Ronas.
Oh my god.
Pass turn.
Good card.
Draw.
You get a Ledger Shredder trigger?
Oh, that's right. Draw a card, discard.
Forest, and then I'll just go into a Parallel Lives. Pass.
That's a good one.
Discarding this Fabled Passage land.
Parallel Lives? Oh my god. Can someone not do something extremely scary on one turn?
It's gonna be a good one.
Untap up, you draw. I'm gonna main phase GLARB because I'm bad.
Because I'm bad.
Play Boseiju as land for turn and pass.
Oracle of Mooly Dooley?
Hmm.
If that's Gucci.
4 land a turn. Gain 4.
That's just a little guy on top there. Don't look at him.
Oh yeah, nothing scary to do at all.
I will Riveteer's Outlook once and shuffle it away. Gain a life.
Misplay.
Misplay? Nah. He's just anti-Miltech. He's an in case of an emergency guy.
Do we all have the same sleeves except for Atreyu? Get him.
Yeah, because I'm the problem
Exactly.
with my 30 land. Oh wait, that's not me.
Hey, you're playing Atraxa and you have Parallel Lives in play.
And Green Sun Zenith back on top. Lame. Riveteers again. Sorry, this is a lot of shuffling. And then we take a look-see here. Oh, that's a good card. We will play a Essence Warden for my first card of the turn. And we will play, you guessed it, my last Riveteers, and then pass. Well, I could have done it one more time. I forgot. I always forget about Oracle.
How many lands do you have in play at the moment?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Really reasonable. What's your top card?
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Mhm.
It is a Terrastodon.
Oh, great.
Sorry, I gotta piss. I'll be right back.
So we need to do something about this, or we're all gonna lose.
I can blow up the Crucible.
Yeah, that seems. Or Azusa.
Probably the Crucible.
You can just replay Azusa. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the Crucible.
yeah.
But I'm sure in a deck like that, there's multiple different cards of instances like it. But
Back.
Okay. Alright, remember this, guys, because this is setting me back a kind of a whole turn. Alright, I'm gonna Abrupt Decay the Crucible of Worlds.
No worries.
Thank you.
Yep. Then I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then delving twice, casting Tasigur. That's my second spell.
I will gain a life.
I will discard. Avenger of Zendikar. He will
We
get a
can see your
counter.
hand kind of bend, so be careful.
Okay. That's it for me, pass turn.
And that's it. Okay, draw. Soul Ring. Let's go. Fierce Empath. I will look for a creature.
Yep.
That's your second spell, right?
It is.
Gain a life.
Eye Navigator.
Discarding offer you can't refuse.
Coma.
Gonna.
And I will pass turn.
Tap upkeep. Draw. Oh, that's sick. Play Temple of the False God off the top. Yes.
Someone else working from home.
Yes. Sorry.
No, you're good. I hear that on mine too.
Draw.
Leave me alone. I'm trying to play Magic.
I know they're interfering with my card playing.
Play the forest off the top for the first one for turn. Top is Summoner Spect. Alright, I will cast a Forgotten Lore and I'll target Surf City.
What do?
So I get to, you choose a card in my graveyard to return to my hand, and if I don't like it, I could pay a green to have you pick something else.
Heard. Do you have more than one card in your graveyard?
I have two things. I have a Crucible of Worlds and the Riveteer's Outlook.
All right. Pay your green.
You got.
Yeah.
And this goes to my graveyard. And then I will cast it.
Ledger Shutter.
Yeah, go ahead. If that's good,
I got no response.
we
Yeah,
do it
good.
once. With the Riveteers, that'll be my second land drop.
I'll respond.
Oh, to what? To what are
I'll respond to you
playing a land?
fetching. Well, it's got a trigger. It's got
I
a
guess,
trigger.
Yeah, it does have a trigger. Go ahead.
You still get your fetch. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
pop
I'm
the
just like,
Crucible.
this is the forest I got in case.
So I'm gonna tap for 2 colorless and a green. I'll float the colorless. I'm gonna cast a Nature's Lore first. And actually, hold on, let me peek at the top. Yeah, I'll cast Nature's Lore. I'll get a forest untapped, and then I'll pay 4. And I will cast a Pier's Whim.
Ooh, what's that?
So for each player, including myself, I'm going to choose friend or foe. Anyone who I choose friend for is going to search for a land, put on the battlefield tapped. Anyone who I choose foe for will sack an artifact or enchantment of their choice.
Okay, trigger
So,
Ledger Shredder.
It's each of us. Okay, yeah.
You cast Nature Lore and then Piers. That's your
Yeah.
second, right?
Yes. Going to be choosing all of you as foes and myself as a friend.
So do you
So-
you target the artifact?
No,
or
you
enchantment?
choose. Sack an artifact or enchantment you control.
I only have a Crucible, so that goes to graveyard.
It's a tough one.
Sacking the Wild Growth.
Oh, and then sorry, I'll reveal. Oh, wait, I haven't shuffled yet. Sorry, I didn't shuffle yet.
I'll sack the thought vessel.
Okay.
Scavenging Ooze.
Actually, sorry, I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go back parallel lives. Sorry.
And
I'm getting
We do-
Bayou with the Nature's Lore and then Field of the Dead, which will be my 7th land. So I'm going to make a zombie.
yeah. Thinking. Yeah, I'll just play a Predator Flagship. It's a legendary artifact. I could pay 2 to give target creature flying until end of turn, and then I could pay 5 and tap it to destroy target creature with flying.
Sweet.
And then I'll play. I don't know. Should I play it now? I guess I could. Sure. Glacial Chasm. I will sack a forest. And I'll pass.
Untap, draw. Play Yavimaya Coast, land for turn. Tap 2 to cast a Farseek. I'll get an Undercity Sewer, comes in tapped, Surveil 1. I will leave that on top. Tap the Fanatic for 4. 4 green. Then I'll tap a black and a blue. Casting Muldrotha, the Gravetide. Second spell, so I'll connive. Draw, discarding a Cyclonic Rift.
Pass.
That will be it. I'll pass turn.
Tap. Keep draw.
What did you get with the Fierce? Did you show us?
Oh, I did. It was Coma.
It was Coma, yeah.
Oh, right.
The original, yeah.
Goody.
I'm going to shock in Hollow Fountain. Cast at Coma.
Days?
And
Barf.
I will pass turn.
I'll gain a life and for it coming in, and then gain a life for when you make a little boy.
And step. Surveil 2. An overgrown tomb in the graveyard. Leave that one on top. Untap, upkeep. Oops. Whatever. Draw for turn. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll cast a Shadow of the Second Sun.
Oh, that's a good one.
Chanting myself. So, beginning of my second main phase, it creates a delayed trigger that happens after my second main phase, in which I untap, upkeep, draw again, and then I go directly to end step.
Yeah. He does not really get a second main.
I get a second main normally, and then after my second main, I untap, upkeep, draw again, but no third main.
No, I don't think you get a second main. After your
So-
pre-combat main phase, there's an additional beginning phase, and then your turn ends. But doesn't it
Okay,
start at
so-
the beginning of before your second main? I thought it was like you go to after combat, that starts, and then your turn ends. I could be wrong.
So-
I thought that's how it worked.
Yeah, so the way it works is the delayed trigger gets created at the beginning of the second main phase. So at the beginning of the post-combat main phase, there's an additional beginning phase after this phase. If you read the last 3 words of the sentence, that's the critical part. Does that make sense? So there's at the beginning of the second main, it creates a delayed trigger that happens after this phase.
Okay. So
Does
it's
that make
not at
sense?
the beginning of it. Okay.
Well, the beginning
so.
is when the trigger is created. So this has to be in play at the beginning of the second main. Otherwise, the trigger will not get created. So it creates a delayed trigger right then, which occurs after this phase. It's that after this phase part that is what makes it confusing. Do you need clarification? Or I'm positive this is how it works, by
Okay.
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could look it up if you want, but
I
I've
am.
played this card 1,000 times. Yeah, if you imagine that it says after this phase at the beginning of that sentence instead of at the end, then it's easier to understand. Okay, so I am going to move to combat and not do anything. Move out of combat. I'm going to tap GLARB to Surveil 2 right now. Not deal. Okay. So I'm going to put a Kokusho, the Evening Star, in the graveyard, and I'll leave this card on top. And then I'm going to play a Bloodstained Mire as land for turn, which will make me a zombie. And then I'm going to move to end step, or attempt to move to end step. So I'll untap, have an upkeep, nothing happens. Draw for turn. And now I go to end step. And I'll pass.
Cool. Untap. Upkeep, draw.
Make another circuit.
Gain a life and reveal this beautiful forest.
Beautiful.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Did you pay for Glacial?
Oh, I should. Yes, sorry about that. So many triggers. 1, 2. And now it gets my little boys on him. These are the lands that don't tap for mana, so keep them on the side here.
Okay.
This one's got 2 on it. We do the Terracodon. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sorry, all my shit.
Does it enter?
One
Well,
second.
it's only non-target creatures unless you're going to destroy their land.
There's a lot of stuff to target and play.
How do you spell Terracodon?
Terrastodon. Sorry, Terraston. It's not
Okay.
like actually Terra.
I will respond to that. Strict Serenade.
Cool. It gets countered, and I get a board. I get a life.
Thank you.
Sweet.
I'll get the token later. I will play this forest off the top of my library for my first land and reveal this thing. It's an Ursapine. I will pay 2 and cast a Scavenging Ooze. And now I am Hellbent. And I will pass.
Your end step. Anyone doing anything? Did you Ledger Shatter?
I did not.
You go ahead.
I'm going to respond. How big is Ledger Shatter? Hold
7.
on. I'm going to
7.
respond, so
go ahead,
maybe
go ahead.
he's not
I'm just
that
looking
big.
for my token.
So I'm Ledger Shredding, I'm discarding an Eldritch Evolution. So it's now got 6 counters, so it's the 7, 9.
Well, I was responding to that, so...
Yeah, he's responding to the trigger, yeah. And this is still on the stack, eh?
It's a 6, 8.
No, this oozes in. This is on your end step.
I thought it was on... Oh, it's at the end. Is it end step trigger?
Oh,
The guy?
right.
I thought
No,
it was
no,
up
my
on
bad.
cast. Yeah.
You already
no.
responded to
Yes,
Ledger Shredder.
you're back in your main phase. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, not responding to Ledger Shatter. Okay.
Okay, Scooch enters, go ahead. And I'm moving to end. And I pass.
All right, end step. There's no Yavimaya or anything, right? No one has?
Not yet.
Nope.
I'm trying my
Alright.
best out here.
Crack the Bloodstained Mire. I already have black ones. Okay. Oh no. Overgrown is in the graveyard. Do I have any other swamps? Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oops. I do, but it enters tapped. Well, that is unfortunate. Yeah. We'll get Undercity Sewers. Make a zombie. I'll surveil one. Put a Bojuka Bog in their graveyard. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Tap 8. Meat Hook Massacre for X is 6.
That'll do.
I guess. Well, turn order if people have responses.
You're first.
Oh, that's true. It's just so weird, yeah, because you're doing it at the end of my turn. Yeah. I think I'm just going to safe haven something. And what that thing is, I think, will be the Oracle. The Oracle.
Makes sense.
It's fine. I'm passing.
No response.
I got a response.
I'll respond to Safe Haven. Just surveil 2 with GLARB. Put Carry in the graveyard.
Did you say
Leave
you
this
have a
card on top.
response?
I was just tapping GLARB to surveil.
Yeah.
I'm responding to her
To
Safe
me,
Haven
safe
activation.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Technically, this is still in play, but
Okay, so after resolution, you guys will all lose 4 from my creatures dying. And then how many did each of you die?
1, 2, 3.
I had 4 die.
3
4 as
die.
well.
Okay, so I will gain 11.
And you said we each lose 3
1,
life?
2,
4.
3.
4 life.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done for end step.
Two, three, four, five, six. Tassiger costs 8, so let's do. Okay, I'm delving 6. Strict Serenade, Cyclonic Rift, Balagate Recovery, Farseek, Wild Growth, Avenger of Zendikar. Then I'm paying 2 to recast Tassiger.
Yep.
Okay. I currently have one card in my hand. So does anyone want to be friends?
I got no cards in hand. Sure, I'll be your friend.
I want to be friends.
What does being a friend entail?
I am intending to activate my commander's ability and milling 2, and then an opponent gets to choose what card from my graveyard I get to put in my hand. So if you want to be my friend, I'll pick you, and then you let me pick what I want.
Gotcha.
And what do we get?
To be my friend.
What do you-
I don't
What do you
know about
want?
that one. I don't know about that one.
What do you want?
You have to activate the
I-
ability first.
What do I
No, we're
want?
just talking
I just want to
about
be friends. Just wanna be-
hypothetically.
I'll remember it, you know?
Well, my friends don't ask for ultimatums.
That's true. It doesn't sound like the start of a good friendship here.
Yeah.
What can I give you that you guys would want?
I don't
What are the
Immunity?
options?
cards. Give me cards in
No.
land. I don't know.
Eldritch
What is in your
Evolution,
graveyard?
Toxrill, Fanatic of Ronos, An Offer You Can't Refuse, and Muldrotha.
And you want what?
And I would probably want the Muldrotha.
Because it kind of gives him access to everything.
Or the Eldritch. That's kind of what I want. But I could mill into something other, you know, I could mill into something else that could be picked, so.
That's true.
I want to be friends, but I'm also have a free will.
If it's not in my benefit,
I'm willing to give you Muldrotha, and you can't choose from the other 3 that get milled.
Well, you get to choose regardless, right?
I know.
Yeah.
But, like,
So
I'll tell him it's Muldrotha. I'm telling him it's going to be Muldrotha. I'll pick.
no matter what the other 3 cards are.
Yeah, no matter what the other 3 are.
I'll take Muldrotha.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see the other 3. Let's see the Gamba.
Tap 4. Land, dig through time. So you could
Okay.
pick a dig through time, but I'll take the Muldrotha if you're gonna pick that.
Yep, you're taking it.
Okay. For being my friend, I will then swing Ledger Shredder at Matt.
It's okay. I don't take damage. You can swing at me if you want.
So 7, 9 in the air.
6-7.
Pass turn.
Untap. No, keep draw. I'm going to main phase this like a dum-dum, but I need figure to work. Cards in hand, everyone.
None.
2.
2.
All right, I'm going to cast Peerless Recycle. I'm going to gift Azusa a card.
Thank you. It's an Ursipine.
I'm going to return 2 target permanents from my graveyard to my hand.
What are your targets?
Parallel Lives and Coma. Is that
No
the deal?
response.
Okay. And then cast Parallel Lives.
Ledger Shredder. Trigger. Discarding Life from the Loam.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Can't look at the top. Almost did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast GLARB.
There he is.
His Royal Moistness, as he is affectionately known. All right, I'll tap 4. Cast a blossoming tortoise.
Is that his preferred pronouns? His
Ledger
multi-
Shredder.
Yes, it is.
Field 10. Oh.
Discarding Arcane
this-
Denial.
Ledgers are sufficiently shredded by now.
Yeah.
Putting in work right now.
All right, is the
Yeah, that's
total
good. The Tortoise is
resolving?
in.
Okay, hey.
Get the mill.
I'll mill Lear,
Bring back the
Disciple of the
Bajuka Bob.
Drowned, Planar Nexus, make an example. And yes, I think I will log you, Ben.
Ouch.
Not my friend.
You just attacked me for 7. I'll make a Zomboy. No land on top. Never lucky. Okay. Move through combat. Move to end. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. P the T.
Cool. Okay. Upkeep. I will have Moly Dooley come back, sacrificing the safe haven. So you get to see what I draw, which will be a Boundless Realms.
Oh no.
More lands. Let's run it.
Glacial
Where's-
Chasm trigger.
Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you so much. That's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boundless Realms.
3 more.
Any responses?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
All right. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Basics though.
I feel like that's the bulk of your deck.
Wait, what was that card called? I just clicked the wrong thing. Hold on. Hold on.
Boundless Realms. She's getting 13 basics into play.
Okay. I thought it was a board wipe. I clicked on the thing and I just looked at the first thing that popped up on the scanner. I thought my board was wiped.
13.
Yeah, the first thing that popped up on mine was Extinction when I tried to click it.
Yeah, I got extension as well. That's why I was like, okay.
The rule.
Yeah, and neither of your boards are scannable on top for me.
Oh, sorry about that.
Too angled.
Let me know if you ever need clarification.
Sure. No, I would.
Control put battlefield tapped. Oh yeah, look at that. That feels good moment. And we take a look see here. Is a tranquil thicket. I will pay 5 for Mrs. Hatsune Miku. And if
Can I have
that's
an
good,
autograph?
yeah, maybe after if you win.
Okay. Okay.
I'll cast this, not cast, but play this. I believe that's my first land for turn. Reveal this. Oh boy.
Sorry, Ledger Shredder trigger.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta stop.
What's
doing
on
that
top?
Counter.
It's a great Aurora.
Oh. Fascinating.
I'll move to end step.
You should probably cast that.
To
What's the
Evolve
worst that could
Battle
happen?
Scale.
I'm so excited. I would love to cast it. Look at this.
Cards in hand, Ben?
2.
Okay. Your turn.
Yeah.
Takanuma land for turn.
So you have like 30 permanents, Smug? Approximately?
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that wouldn't go well for us.
25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yeah.
Yikes.
I am going to cast a Ristic Study, and I would hope. I guess I have one card in my hand. I would like to help deal with the 30 lands, but I need cards.
What, Armageddon?
Well, I think he means a counter for the Great Aurora.
But it's so good. You guys don't want to do
It's
that?
good, it's good for you.
You want to do that? It's so much fun.
Alright, I'm gonna activate Tasigur, paying 4. Llanowar Wastes, Frantic Search. So, Matt, can I have a
Yes.
Frantic Search or a Taval?
Which would you like?
Frantic Search.
Sure.
Okay.
Are we friends now?
For now.
Hooray.
And then I'll pass the turn.
So what's the problem on the board right now?
There's a
Mm,
lot of little problems.
problem is on top of the library. Do you know what that card does?
Yeah. Matt is
I
also
don't- I
pretty
don't- I
set
can't see it.
up.
You
This
probably
is the
want to
Great
look at it.
Aurora. Yeah.
It is game warping. Game warping is
It's
an
a green
extreme
board wipe.
understatement.
It's a green board wipe. But you don't
Oh.
lose anything really. They just get replaced.
Is it a board
It's
wipe, or a creature
You,
board wipe?
you should read it.
Yeah, I highly
It is
suggest. I
not-
get shorthand.
It is
explain
not
I
a
said
card
really-
to
yeah.
not read.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do this first. Eight. So it's all permanent. So everything, the whole board.
Yeah, we would get like a whole new board. But I'm
And your
surprised.
hand. And your hand.
And then new hand as well, because it's like everything that you have in play. So you'd want to like stock up on things in play, because that's how many you would draw. And it includes tokens. Those tokens just don't get shuffled.
Yeah, so like right now you have 9 permanents at play and whatever cards in your hand, so that's like 12 or something. Smug has 30 permanents in play.
Okay, so she would draw 30 cards.
Yes, and then put in all lands.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, we all put in all
okay.
lands. We all put in the lands.
Yes, everyone will.
Then I'll just play Coma again.
Hi, Coma.
May I draw?
Thinking.
You have a thought vessel open, no?
I do. That's what I'm thinking.
We're gonna have an Avenger level threat in a second. Let me help you.
Yeah, sure. You could draw,
Thank you.
and then I will pass turn.
All right, on end step, I'm going to do some things. What are those things, though? 1, 2,
He's gonna dig for a counter.
3. I don't play any counters, so that's not going to happen. I'll tap
Try and make me
5.
mill.
I'm going to cast an Hour of Promise off the top with GLARB. Search for 2 lands, put them untapped. It does some desert things that are not relevant.
May I draw?
You may. Do I have anything to... That's good. Alright, I'm gonna take Sunken Palace and Demir Aqueduct. Mirror Aqueduct's a bounce land. Sunken Palace is a blue land that I can basically delve 7 to copy a spell.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Sunken Palace. Oh, it's because it's from a commander set, huh?
Yeah, it's from the MH3 Omo deck.
Oh, okay, cool.
So those will enter tapped. The Demira Aqueduct will bounce a land to my hand. I'm going to bounce Oseju, who endures. And I will make 2 zombies. Alright, still on end step. That's funny. Tap 5, and I will sack 1 zombie to cast a Rotten Mouth Viper. Not paying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll draw off the Ristic, and then I'll connive with Ledger Shredder.
Stinky Breath Viper.
Discarding Exotic Orchard.
Oh, he's got good breath. He eats Altoids.
Oh,
It's cool. Anyone responding to Viper?
I'm good.
No.
Okay, Viper ETB. You all have an option to lose 4 life, sack a non-land permanent, or discard a card.
I will choose to discard.
I'll lose 4 life.
I'll lose 4.
Okie dokie. And give everyone priority on end step again. If not, I'll untap.
I'm good. Yeah, go ahead.
Untap, upkeep, draw. That's not ideal. Tap GLARB to surveil 2. I'm going to put this exploration into the graveyard. Leave this card on top. Play a Horizon of Progress off the top. Make a zombie. Wait, what happened to my other zombies? I should have had 2 left, so I'm up to 3.
I think you only sacked 1 from Rotten Mouth, so yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
All right, so you have 30 per... Is anyone dealing with the Aurora, or is this happening?
It's
Or
probably gonna happen. I have nothing. I'm tapped out.
I think it's happening.
Yay! I love playing lands.
fortunate?
I would like to draw more so I get more off of it, though. That'd be nice.
You know, as a friend, I feel like I've done a lot for you, but I haven't felt a lot of reciprocation.
It's coming.
I'm just having a hard conversation here. I hope you can respect that.
Well, you've taken like a bunch of turns, but it's only been 1 rotation. You haven't really given me the opportunity. I'm not the one.
So now
who
you're
play stuff at
now
flash speed
you're
all the time.
just insulting me.
You can't just insult homie's lifestyle like that.
I'm just saying
Exactly.
the reciprocation is coming, but I'm within the bounds of sorcery speed sometimes, you know?
Understood. All right, I don't freaking know what to do. Let's go to combat. Clear the top. How about that? Combat. You have coma, you have small stuff. I'll send a 3/3 tortoise at you, Smuglight, and I'll send this Viper also at you. On attack, the Viper will get a counter, and everyone's going to get 2 of those decisions. Sack a non-land permanent, discard a card, or lose 4 life. Times 2.
I'll sacrifice Predator and lose 4.
I'll lose 8.
And I'll declare no block.
Betray you?
I will.
And I'll do my tortoise trigger too.
Mhm.
T-Vol, Soul Amroth. versus tower.
I will lose 4 and discard a card. Discarding a Terracodon.
Okay. I'll bring in the Dol Amroth tapped. It's Minamo School at Water's Edge.
Okay, cool.
And that will make me another zombie. And you took 6, Smug?
I'm taking nothing. My glacial cat.
Oh, right. That's fine. Okay. Let's
For
look at the
now.
top again. That doesn't help. 12. Okay, so if I pay 2 to activate this, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 remaining. Okay. So I'll use the Demir Aqueduct to pay for the Sunken Palace. So it costs a blue and a colorless plus exiling 7 cards. So I'll exile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I have a blue mana that, if spent on a spell, will be copied. So I have a 1 from there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So sorry to interrupt real quick. So the
Yes.
Viper says loss of life. You would still lose the life, Azusa, unless you.
I did lose life. I'm saying
Oh,
I
Yeah,
didn't.
she's
I
talking
didn't
about from the
take- Yeah,
attack.
just the combat damage. I
Oh,
don't
gotcha.
take any.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so 9 in the pool, including Poppy, Blue. I'm going to cast Rite of Replication with Kicker.
Oh, dang.
I'm assuming you're targeting the Rotten Mouth Viper.
Probably. Let me just think about this. Can anything make me more than 1 permanent? Coma, but I only get 1. Tasker doesn't work. I will target the Viper with both copies. Well, actually, hold on. This is a little all in. If someone removes it, then I get wrecked.
I don't think anyone has any responses. I think you're good.
How many cards in hand, Ben?
Heuristic study trigger actually on cast.
I'll give you the card if you agree that whatever you draw can't be used on me.
Sure.
Okay. I'll target the Viper with both. Fuck it, we ball.
So that's 10 triggers.
Yeah.
10. Yeah,
I
we're
would make
screwed.
10 copies of it. Yeah.
Wait, does it have 2 counters still,
No.
or just they're new?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna suck, but
Mhm.
Well, anyone responding on the stack to any of this?
Nope.
All right. Do the thing.
So how many? 10?
10
10
10
triggers.
times. Yeah. So you could take.
I'm whipping out the calc. 1 sec.
Yeah.
10 times 4? I'll just take 40 life.
I'm taking 32.
Oh, you're just gonna
stacking
scoop?
these two.
Yeah.
Aw.
Because
Going
with
to
that
10.
spell net, it's gonna wipe me.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're gonna hit. Okay.
It wipes everyone. It resets.
wipes it.
Yeah.
No,
it
I know,
wipes
but
everyone.
it only puts on the board what you put into it.
Okay.
Your
Only
sorcerer
lands.
over there, right, Azusa?
What?
Yeah, he's talking about the Great Aurora. Like, he's
Yeah.
not going to have as many things.
I'm gonna draw 5 cards. You guys are gonna draw 20,
Yeah,
30.
that's true. You only have
Oh,
3
okay.
lands. If you're sacking your whole board just to not die, yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that's what I'm saying. So yeah.
That's fair.
Well, you can't sack lands, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good game, guys.
You had
GG.
26. You could have taken 24. That's 6 of them. And then just sacked 2 coils and 2 mana rocks.
It's still
And
like
then you
he's
have
gonna be so
7
behind in comparison, I
permanents.
think.
Yeah.
I
No,
understand if
it
you
makes
don't want to
sense.
continue playing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Good game, guys.
GG.
GG.
Have a good one.
Discard 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I kind of want to pay for Glacial.
I
I kind of want, because I wanted to shuffle back in.
mean, like, you have pretty high odds of finding a way to play it from the graveyard, though, right?
Yeah, well, no, my Crucible, I have like an E-Witness, obviously, but I think the Crucible being in there, I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, it shuffles in your graveyard, right?
It does not. It does not.
Oh, it
shuffle
doesn't
in
hit your graveyard. I
So
should
it's
read this
like,
card
yeah,
again.
it's just my graveyard is my graveyard.
Oh, so yeah, put it in your graveyard, and then like you find Crucible. No, Crucible's
The
engraved.
Crucible is in my graveyard, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's unlikely gonna come back unless.
Well,
I
you
get...
have Ramanop Excavator, presumably.
I do.
Ancient Green Warden,
We'll see,
Walk-in
see.
Closet.
Or I'll just die. Whatever.
Is everyone done?
No, we're waiting for you. You still
Oh,
have
I mean,
your-
you guys are
your-
done. You guys are done resolving your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna move to end step. And tap. Upkeep. Draw. Oh, that would have been good. Whoops. Okay. Fine. And pass.
Untap. I don't pay for Glacial as much as I wanna. I'll draw this card. I tap all my mana and I cast Great Aurora.
Ristic Study.
6. Go ahead.
I will respond. It's still gonna happen. Just wanna well, that'd be crazy. I'll flash in an Ancient Green Warden in response.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Top again. Tap GLARB Surveil 2. Put a tropical island in the graveyard, leave that on top. Green, green, and 1. Taking 1. Flash out an Overlord of the Hauntwoods using its impending cost.
Mhm.
I'll make an Everywhere land.
So make sure to include it, yeah.
Ristic Study.
You can have it. I get 2 zombies from landfall for Ancient. And I guess I'll untap GLARB, tap him again to Surveil 2. I'll put, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll put both of these in the graveyard. Replication Technique, Misty Rainforest. And that's it.
Cool. I'm ready to go. I have 17 green floating.
So we count all permanents,
and
card
cards
plus
in
Hardened
hand.
Sand. Okay.
Including your tokens. The tokens just don't get shuffled in, but they count towards the total.
All right, 4 cards in hand.
And my commander counts, but it goes back. I can put in the command zone.
Exactly.
1, 2,
12.
3, 4, 5.
26 for me. So much less than before. And now I must very, very thoroughly shuffle.
41.
41?
I have 12.
Is your Reliquary Tower in your deck? If you run one?
I don't have one. I don't play one.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
This deck doesn't draw cards. It just plays off the top.
Mm-hmm.
41.
Hair.
41. Yeah, that's right. All right, this is cool.
You like it? Okay, I'm glad. I like the card a lot. It's really fun.
I don't want to do it every game, but it's cool to have done it once.
Oh.
Especially 41. That's pretty good, I imagine.
You don't want to do it a second time?
Yeah, you didn't think so? It doesn't exile itself?
Oh, speaking of which, yeah, I'm like, I think I accidentally... Where is it? Did it like fall on the floor?
It exiled itself
It
permanently.
gets exiled. Yeah, it exiled. Oh, it's not permanent. It's just regular exile. I don't know what permanent exile is, but
I meant, like, since you had lost it, it
oh
That's
yeah,
why it was a joke.
It's fucking just left.
just, like, disappeared.
I
Puff of
reached
smoke.
a cap on how many times I can cast this thing.
Okay, so they come in
Also,
untapped.
I also noticed.
Oh
Yeah, they come
man,
into
my ley
untapped.
line.
That's why you float a bunch. Yeah.
Oh, I should have. Oops.
There it is. Thank you so much. I would have been very confused later.
All right. Drawing 41. I hope I hit Field of the Dead.
Oh, we shuffle our graveyard in too? Oh shit.
No.
Oh, I did my graveyard. Whoops, even though you said not to.
I said yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
remember
bad.
you said that.
Damn.
And my exile, because I'm really dumb. Wow, okay.
It's been a long day. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, I will try to remove stuff that I knew was there. That's the best I can do. Very sorry.
It's okay. I actually didn't get very many lands. That's crazy. It's okay. I have 17 floating. We'll make do.
Replication was in the graveyard. That was in the graveyard.
I think you're all fairly competent to like do your land ETBs. So I won't bore everyone. I'm gonna do my brokers right away. Let's get the forest tapped. Shuffle.
I was in the graveyard.
I thought like those are river tears. So this is tapped. And you have a Yavimaya there, so everything is a forest in addition? Ben?
Yep.
Cool, thank you so much. Blessed.
I think I... This...
So I'll mark this. So 17, floating. Would you like me to
Missing
wait, Matt,
land.
until
Yeah, one sec. Let me
yeah,
just
go
take
ahead.
off the sweater
I'll go
'cause I'm
big
dying.
this spirit back.
Okay. Ujukabog. Guess I'll hit her. Alchemist Refuge. So bounce Poseiju. And then 3 Tree City will name zombies, which I didn't hit field. Centers tapped, I'll surveil. Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Alright, so I named zombies on 3 Tree City, but I didn't hit field. I bounced Boseiju to my hand with Demir Aqueduct. I surveilled a hedge mace to the graveyard. I Bojuka Bogged you, Smug.
Okay, cool.
And I have Dried Arbor in play as a creature. And I believe that's it.
Sweet. We will proceed. 5 mana. Go into 12. Oh my god, can I not do this with a die? I just want to be like visual, but I have 7. You guys can do math. I have 17 mana. I'll spend 5 of it. Going to 12 on Mrs. Seedborn Muse.
It's a good one.
Any responses?
I'm gonna crack my Prismatic Vista.
Go ahead.
Good with me.
Anything after that? Ben?
No.
Cool. I will play a... just taking a look. Okay. 10 of the mana, I will cast a Kozilek. I have 2 mana left.
Which Kozilek?
Butcher of Truth. So on cast, I will draw 4, but those 2 are on the stack. Any responses?
No response.
What does he do again?
It's when it's on cast, draw 4, has Annihilator 4, and then like the trigger when it hits the graveyard, I shuffle it and the
Okay.
graveyard back into my deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said doos. So I draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've played no lands this turn. So with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will cast Miku. I'm thinking Miku Uiu. And if that's Gucci, we play Tireless Tracker.
Hmm.
And then we go crazy with the 1 trigger, 2 trigger, 3 trigger, lands for turn. I get 3
Nice.
clues. And then I'll cast a card that I have in my hand somewhere called Fruition. Actually, wait. 1. I only have like 5 devotion right now. This is dog. Yeah, we're just gonna do a Fruition. For each forest you and your opponents have in play, I gain 1 life. So count your lands, essentially, because he has a Yavimaya.
6 for me.
15.
It's 20 for both of us, and then you said 15. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's 35.
Pretty good.
And then I will move to end step.
On your end step,
I'm also picking what I'm discarding as well. Don't need this.
seven. Nothing on end step.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 more choice to make. This. I will discard Exploration, Gearport Orrery, Woodfall Primus, Birds of Paradise, Tranquil Thicket, Sandward Convergence, and I untap all my permanents. Pass.
Tap 1, play a Soul Ring. Tap 2, cast a 3 visits. Hmm. Grab a Zagoth Triome. Tap 4, cast Talion, the Kindly Lord.
Ooh.
ETBs, I will pick 2, the number 2.
Sure.
Pass turn.
At the end of turn, I have some responses since I have the seed board. I'm just gonna crack all my clues. I'm gonna crack it. I'm gonna draw 3. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I have a dark depth, so I'll remove 1, 2 counters from it. Putting it
I'm
to
also
8.
I'm going to respond to everything you do, so leave your
Sure.
stuff tapped.
Well, technically, you'd be first in priority order.
Well, yeah,
So
but
if
you
you had
jumped,
something to
so
do.
I'm going to let you go ahead, and then I'll
Okay.
respond to you.
All right, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to flash in. His hand is huge. High Fae Trickster.
Mhm.
So I'll have flash, and then
That'll trigger Talon because she's got
yeah, I'll lose 2.
Draw.
Okay. Flash in a Tidal Barracuda.
Isn't that we also get flash?
Yes.
Yeah.
And also you can't play spells on my turn.
All right, cool.
All right, and then I'm gonna pay my last 4. I'll tap the Horizon for a green with the Alchemaya. And I'll flash in a Parallel Lives.
I'll respond to it and crop rotate since I can't do it
Sure.
on your turn. I will sacrifice a, you guessed it, forest. And get a land. And the land will be a good one. I swear.
Glacial Chasm?
No, it's in my exile. Wamemba?
Exile.
Majuka Bog.
Oh, yeah. Good job, Bog.
I guess that works too. We're gonna go get a tabernacle.
Oh,
Tabernacle?
wow. Did not expect that.
Cut. And then Seedborn Muse trigger. So go ahead.
Or
Oh, and then I get a clue because I landed her.
untap. Upkeep. I'll pay 1 for the Tidal Barracuda and sack the other 2.
It's destroy. So
They will be destroyed.
just so you know. In case you had, heroic intervention.
Yeah, that's reasonable. All right, draw for turn. Well, this is interesting. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's use this instead. Let's cast the Shadow of the Second Sun again.
There he is. Yep.
All right. Cast Adrix and Nev, twin casters. 1, 2,
I'll draw you lose 2.
3, 4. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many permanents? Not that many. Less than. Okay. Never mind. All right. I guess I'll cast an Hour of Promise.
Mhm.
So I'll search for 2 lands, put them in. We'll get Field of the Dead and Shifting Woodland. All right, so field will enter. I had 2 lands entering, so I'll make 16 zombies.
Sure.
Okay, and then I'm gonna move through combat
Mhm.
to end step, untap, upkeep. I'll draw, and then I'm gonna act in my end step. Ooh, that's good. All right, I'll flash in a Mana Reflection.
That's a good card.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, green.
How many cards in hand?
Green.
For each
That
of us?
many.
Or it's just him?
That many?
Yeah.
I will.
You can't cast
respond.
spells on my turn.
Oh, I can't
Yeah,
do
you
that.
can do it on my turn.
Shoot. Never mind.
You're probably not getting a turn. I'm sorry.
I'm probably not.
All right. So lands tap for double. I will tap this 3-tree city. Is it double? Yeah. Activate 3-tree city naming green zombies. So I'll make 32 green. And then I'll tap for double black. I'll flash in Archon of Cruelty. Actually, hold on. Let me do this better. Let's flash in a Virtue of Knowledge and then flash in Archon of Cruelty. I have like close to infinite mana, so I'm just going to show you guys what I have so we don't have to waste time. I'll cast Doppelgang for X's like, I don't know, 7.
Yep.
To copy Archon of Cruelty. I could also copy these 2 and have about a gazillion damage.
Yeah, feels about it.
GG.
No glacial! No glacial!
Crazy.
It wouldn't have helped here anyway. It's lost
Yeah,
life.
it's all loss of life. GG.
GG. That was a
game.
crazy game. So
Yeah.
crazy.